The topic of the day is having difficult conversations. I think this topic can relate to everyone because as we live in a society, we have to deal with other people. And when you're dealing with other people, you have to have difficult conversations. The difficult conversations may be setting boundaries, talking about what you want, what they want, and really diving down into the nitty-gritty and not just stay very surface level up here. Personally, I can relate to that a lot. Setting boundary with family members, friends, when there's a pre-established dynamic can be very challenging. Once you live in a specific dynamic for a very long time, so let's say the relationship between me and my mom. Well, I'm her son, so she is the person that is, my educator, my parent, so she is above me, right? So she will make comments, she'll judge my decisions, and that dynamic will carry forward until you stop it. At some point, you have to make the difficult conversation with your mom and say, you know what, mom, I'm grown up. Can you please respect my decisions? Even if you think they're wrong, and even if you're 100% correct, I want to make those decisions for myself, make the mistakes, and then learn from that. And that's just a conversation that you need to have. Similarly with friends, you could get into a group dynamic where your friends are always passive aggressive or they're a comparison. They like to put everyone down. That's kind of just the dynamic that we have. Well, you have to have that difficult conversation and tell them, well, you know what? I know that we had this kind of dynamic in the group before, but it's no longer working for me. Can we please change the dynamic? Or you would have to put the ultimatum down and say, well, if nothing can be changed, I'm going to have to show myself out, right? And that's just something that as you get more mature, you have to learn to actually do that. And why is it that we're afraid of having these difficult conversations? And I think the key insight here is we're afraid of losing the relationship, right? So, you have that difficult conversation with your mom or your friends, and they might not want to have that relationship with you because, that's kind of the fear in your head. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that when you think like that, you're coming from a mindset of scarcity. As in, well, I'm only going to have these relationships in my life. What will happen if I lose them? Instead, you should think about it from an abundance perspective. There are so many people out there. It's obviously difficult to make friends. And your family is your family. You can't just drop them randomly, right? It's very difficult. But having that confidence and that energy of saying, you know what? If this doesn't work out, I have other options. I can make new friends. And that's kind of the mindset that you have to have before going into these difficult conversations. And that's about it.